we don't say we have 10 research subjects because the teacher is telling us that we need to have 10. Oh, that's not the point. The point is, I'm just telling you, I'm just cutting things short because I knew for a fact that 10 would suffice. But I want you to look into the related literature that will justify 10. Then if you cannot justify, if you cannot look for that related literature, then you might as well as go through the computation of the sample size before you will gather your data. Nasabtan niya at this point? Hello?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Okay, so kana siya.
No,
No, dapat and then you already knew that I come to appreciate some of your output. The last time that you had your you had your recitation a while because some of you actually sabaa gitu. Madlong nga gabi. Ikaw madlong. Sabaa pa. Ay, salamat.
Kita na ka? Balik mo siya kami.
Okay, it's a lot better. Hindi na kayo sab. Okay, so ito siya ha. First, okay, so in the next thing before you gather your data, after determining the sample size, the next thing that you need to do is you need to determine. You need to know how will you determine the identity of your users or the identity of your research subjects. So when you say users, when you say user group, when you say research subject, when you say respondents, okay, you need to define unsa may meaning ang research group, unsa may meaning or research subject, unsa may meaning ang respondents, unsa may meaning ang users. So you try to define. Okay, do not use the term research subject in one sentence. In the next sentence, you will use respondents. So, unsa man respondents? Sabutan. Respondents, those that responded to your survey or to your questionnaire. When you say research subjects at one end, they could still be your research. You try to define them at one. Thing that differentiates it from the respondents is that a research subject is the subject of your research. You will have to observe, no, in the course of your study. Na kay person you observe yung siya, yung demeanor, yung reaction, perhaps, how does he go about, no? During the time that you need to observe him or her. Okay, so siya. Okay, so you just have to define. Okay, and you know already that when you write, you have to use the active voice. So we can still use the passive voice, but it is best that you use the active voice and use the third person. Okay, what else? Now, when you want to get when you want to collect the data, okay, let's say for example, user satisfaction data, perhaps you will come up with a questionnaire. Okay, when you come up with a questionnaire, you try to have the indications of satisfaction. You can also pick from your RL on what are these indications of satisfaction. Okay, so with regard to use of a certain software or a certain system, that let's say perhaps so you have this kind of you have your questionnaire and then you ask if uh, the user or the research subject or the respondent would be more than glad to recommend the system or the app, no, or the software to his friends, family members. Okay, so that's one indication that you're that the research subject or that the user or that the respondent is satisfied. Okay, perhaps here. And then if they would be, what else? What else would be the indication apart from the fact that they would recommend it to other people? Okay, so if they would be using it again, you know, for the same task, okay, or if they're interested to exploring the other features of the system, and so on and so forth. Also, that's through a survey. So when you have a survey, years before, when Google Forms are not yet a common tool, so what we use is a paper questionnaire. So naging a paper questionnaire, and maybe I can give you an example of how I used it. So I designed a researcher design. What I did was I designed my own questionnaire, and I was lucky enough because my research environment was a canning company, and I was allowed to distribute the questionnaires to the employees who is the subject of my study, or who are the respondents of my study, and then during company hours. So, okay, how did I know as to how many? Of course, at that time I used the Sloven formula. So when we say the Sloven formula, there were like more than 200, and I was able to compute the number of respondents that I would be requiring, and the result that I got was about 70 about 70 respondents. Okay, so that was about it. So 70. What's the best? Okay, better than 70. I should have taken majority, the responses from the majority. No, but the best there is to take 100%. But we don't have we may not have enough resources, enough time, no, and it could be so much of an inconvenience for the company and so much of a loss for the company if I will require that 100% of the employees will answer or will join my survey. Okay, so dili na pud siya practical. So maybe a little less inconvenient would be a majority of my target employees. But since the number of, let's say, employees that to uh, be equivalent to majority would still be so much in number. So when I used the Slovene formula at a certain uh, confidence level, I had about 70 something out of the 200. Okay, so that was the first step determining the uh, sample size. In your case, you already have predetermined the sample size. All you need to do again is to ensure that you make a justification by also discussing the RL that will support. Then the next is how was I able to determine which among all of the employees will be part of my 70 something respondents. So what did I do? So kasuway mo ng games of chance like the bingo that could be done in your neighborhood. Oh, inana. I literally had raffled off. Certain numbers that would correspond to each employee. So I was given a list of employees. I numbered it from 1 to 200 something, and I had numbers. Gilukot-tukot ako kung and then I got 70 plus from those gilukot-tukot ako nyo akong gi-shuffle og maayo akong sudlanan, no, ako sudlanan, and then ako gi uyog-uyog, and then paghuman what I did was I got 70 something out of 200 from those kanang more raffle off na ko at once dili wa ko usa dili at once. So that will have to be discussed. So in your case, you don't do that anymore. No, you can't do that because if you're talking of the number of students, you cannot raffle off so 10,000 ka book. You don't do that. So it depends on how you get it. It would take so much of your time. So you simply try to determine a way as to sample from uh, a certain population, 20 from those population. Using it for determining population, you have your traits, no? You have your attributes, list of attributes. Let's say CTU undergraduate students, o kana pa sa CTU undergraduate students when you say, okay, my research group number 1 is actually CTU undergraduate students. So I'll be asking a question, no? Are all the CTU students from each of the
Hindi ko
colleges
kasi
well
Jesus,
represented
gamitin
in
yung
your
password eh.
number of
Hindi
respondents?
ko kasi si
If the
Jesus
answer is
gamit ng
no,
wifi.
then that means that there was a
Nag-data lang
problem
ako.
in your data collection. Artists, please mute yourself.
Mute daw.
Ano po eh?
Okay, so
Oh, open mic ko.
Open mic.
Okay.
so nasabtan tong napita. What you need to do? Are you familiar? What type of in your case? What is your idea? How would you determine the identity of your respondents? Maybe some of you are recruiting their friends, their neighbor, and fine with that for as long as they fall within your attributes or traits in which you define your user group. Ito problema. Basta na lang siya sa one. And then before I forget you, hindi mo makalusot. Yun. Okay, mo na ni. Buot-buotan mo din ang data. Ano kamukha mo lang. I will be requiring you to record, no? Your actual data gathering. You will just be giving me a link, no, on your actual gathering. So if you have 2 tasks, and then there are 20. If one task is, let's say, it takes for you 5 minutes to apply, then 20 people, that is ilang minutes, no? So you just have to send a link, no? Pwede na dili ko kakita sa actual data gathering. So I will be able to validate if your data gathering procedure was correct, or is it if what you wrote is valid enough, and if how you did it was also in accordance to the validated procedure that you wrote about in your research. Okay, so dili kalusot amang kanang butuot lang. Okay. Again, another one is so also do you have an idea already as to how you go about determining the identity of your respondents. Kinsa gid na siya. Okay mo, ibutang ta lang no akong respondent si kanang section 3.5 and section 3F. Muna akong respondents. So the next question is, okay, anong si Harvey man ako ang apilo dili si Yancy? Anong si Jezreel man ako ang i-appeal sa respondent kung dili si Jendi? Okay? So, you would have to justify and how come you chose one over the other as part of your 20 or as part of your 10 user group number 1. Nakasabot sa akong ipasabot?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, what type of sampling are you most familiar with?
Random.
Purpose.
Anyone from the group?
Purposive, miss.
Okay. Purposive sampling. Okay, so naiban niyo kailan ni purposive sampling. So ila-ilahan ninyo ha. You try to look for some sources, a book perhaps, or other sources alternative to your books. Okay, so you have purposive sampling. What else? Wala na.
Random.
Okay, random sampling. Okay. So what about the others? Duha ra ang ni-share. So, okay.
Snowball sampling, miss.
Okay, you have snowball sampling. At least we have 3 who shared. No? So that's good. Okay, ang uban. Nagunahon na lunes na.
Sampling, miss.
Okay, convenience sampling. Very good. Ang butan ng uban, nagunahon na ba din sila? So, if that's the case, at this point, Friday na ba yung deadline? You have to discuss this one because this is part of your research. This is part of your research procedure. Now, research procedure is just a small part of your methodology. Ang procedure, giunsa. Diba? Okay, we have to discuss. So, kung ipangayo lang, no, is that procedure that you write about. But what you will write in your research is kato inyong 10-page research. It is, of course, the complete methodology of which procedure is part, of which your research tool is part. Okay, so some of you are telling me this type of sampling. Okay, so yun sa na yung sampling. Kasi may mo random sampling. Yun sa na ninyo if your respondents are engineering, CTU engineering students. So how do you conduct random sampling? Mayroon baron mo, no? Okay. Nag-distribute, maghimo mong schedule. Buta talaga mo schedule. Sample lang niya, this may not be correct. Mo schedule na random sampling. Okay, since you will be taking 20, since you'll be taking 10 rather for this user group, yan yung isa ka user group kay let's say, College of Technology students. So, asa man dapit ang College of Technology students nag-stay? Nasa first floor, sa engineering building, nasa ubang building. So, how would you ensure that you would be able to ask them or recruit them to join as part of your research subject? Butang ka lang din mo. Unay mo ang getting the data mo at this hour, at this on this day. So since you need 10, perhaps okay, there would be nag-recruit mo og mga recruit mo parts in team. Nay parts in team. So, kani nga building yung i-deploy. Nagamit mo random numbers to set the schedule. And in your schedule, you actually had randomly selected 9 in the morning up to 10. And then in the afternoon, you also randomly selected 2. And then in the evening, you also randomly selected 5 o'clock. So, kanang mga orasa na ipang deploy to ensure that you'd be able to recruit what you call this, 10 for this user group. And in the other user group, perhaps you have engineering students, and engineering students usually occupy the second or the third, no, asa nga room diri. Maybe starting from 4th floor up to 6th floor. And this is the portion of the engineering building that the engineering students frequent. No? So you try to set a schedule. So it depends on magkuha mo lista dito sa EDP or sa registrar of all the students, and then you try to number them, and then you try to randomly select which students, and then you try to look for these students. That's going to take a very long time to do. Also, you try to be very selective and very intentional of your sampling technique, so that you will be able to ensure that when you recruit for your participants or research subjects or respondents, you are doing it in such a way that as much as possible there are no biases. So mayon din mo ma'am kato ding nagpili ma'am silang relative o silang friends. Okay, so there's also an equivalent type of sampling sa kana siya. No, but they have to ensure that their friends or their neighbors or their family members also fall within the criteria that is included in their user group. Dili pwede ang ibutang nyo dito nga 40 a person in their 40s, and then you're selecting just because you have a neighbor. You're selecting your neighbor even if your neighbor was 12 years old, or even if your neighbor was just 20 years old, simply because he's your neighbor, and it is because your teacher was telling you, okay ra nang sige, okay ra nang kuan, okay ra nang silingan ninyo, wa siya ni fall sa inyong definition sa inyong user group 1 or user group 2. Nasabtan pa ko? Nasabtan ko ninyo. Okay, so in the next stage, you will have your data treatment. Okay, so unsa may pasabot na ko, unsa gamit sa data treatment? No, so kaning water nato, no, nano siya treatment before na ninyo inom. Wala gyud mo inom diretso gikan sa puso, no, kung na sa mo inom gikan diretso sa what do we do? Perhaps the source of water that we have is groundwater. Wala gyud mo inom tayong diretso sa tubod, basi contaminated groundwater, and that source, no, groundwater source, no, or that groundwater is actually being treated, no, para wala yung mga E. coli, wala yung bacteria, wala yung mga viruses, wala yung mga sediments, wala yung kanang dili bako, wala siya yung mga parasites, and so on, wala na yung mga microorganisms, so on and so forth. So the unwanted elements of the water is being treated in such a way that the unwanted elements of the water is taken out. So in similar way, as an analogy, your data should be treated. Okay, how we will go about it? Do you have any idea? Let's say, for example, in a certain research or in a certain survey, you end up having 2 million data. No, you end up having, that's in your case, pero tanta lang, ako lang nag-exaggerate, ha? Or if you have user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, would you, in your research article, would you be telling user number 1 was able to complete the task in 2 minutes. User number 2 was able to complete the task in 3 minutes. Okay, for your completion or for your efficiency, would you be doing that? Are we interested in just user 1? I don't think you are interested in user 1 alone. I don't think you're interested in that particular user lang. Okay, or would you say user number research subject number 1 replied that she's very happy with the tool, and user number 2 replied that she's not very happy. Whereas user number 3, imo na siya yung inaon pag-present sa imong muhang write up. No. You'll have to treat the data to make it more meaningful. You have to treat the data in such a way that you will be, apart from making it more meaningful, you'll be what? Be able to, perhaps in some of my students, they say that data treatment involves summarizing, involves organizing the data. Okay, in your case, what is your idea of your data treatment tool that you will use? Anyone? Wala. Okay, Rabis, you have any idea? Okay, may one mo ako may idea. Nothing yet. Kung na mo idea, you tell me what's your idea. Arabis?
Miss,
Ha?
can you repeat the question, Miss?
Ali na ko mo repeat sa question. No? Restauro.
Idea sa pag-treat sa data.
Restauro.
Nothing yet pa, Miss, as of now.
Okay. Kanyete? Rachel?
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
Okay. Carmel?
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Clarence? Jimenez?
Treatment tool, miss.
Ha?
Kuhan, miss, kanang... nothing yet, miss. Hindi ko sure.
Okay. Christine? Kirante?
So far, ma'am, wala pa kayo kuhan regarding sa questions at bottom.
Okay, so the deadline is Friday. Okay, so Darwin Matukan. Whatever you... Okay, akong ipangay nga tubag na tingit sa gidugon sa inyong nang din ha. No other answer. Jesus?
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay. We have Abel. Devilet.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Abing.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Lapo, Donalyn.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Donna Marie, Egos.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Duran, Jamaica.
Nothing yet, Miss.
April, Gordon.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Jeline, Paso.
Nothing po, ma'am. Nothing.
Okay. Mia, Erica, Pungautan.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Harvey, Barazona.
Kuhan, ma'am, like, ang nasabutan sa mga partner, ma'am, bakit?
Oh, English.
Descriptive method, ma'am, which include kanang main median mode, but we are not sure yet, ma'am, if ma-apply naman sa
Okay. Jane Dayondon.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, Jansin Aguilar.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, duha yun ka. Jansin Kaluha, guro ni sila. Jared, sa Malino.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Jendi, Parisosa.
Ang ito ba descriptive?
Nothing yet, Miss.
Jezreel, ni Taneo. Giselle, Federicos.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Jerome Villanueva.
nothing yet, miss.
Joanna Keith Lim.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Giselle Nipaya.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, Moncalvo Joseph.
Skip na rin.
So as for the qualitative data, miss, I'm planning of using a thematic analysis method. So because most data that I'll be gathering are descriptive. So, thematic analysis will allow me to group those responses that have similar characteristics. I did I say similar na, or a theme or one theme. And
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you just try to validate because we are not yet on the analysis part. We are still on the treatment part, huh? Okay, what about Karil, GL Lapis?
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
Okay, Cassandra.
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
Okay, Kim Retuerto.
Nothing yet from
Kaiza Pinegra.
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
Okay, Crystalline Ardiente.
I think, Miss, I'll be using t-test.
Okay, t-test, you just check no if t-test qualifies or t-test is a data treatment tool. Okay, at least you.
Okay, Miss, thank you.
Okay, so Kyle, Trisha, Banyo.
Same with Harvey, ma'am. Descriptive statistics for our after scenario questionnaire.
Okay. Amahan.
Nothing yet po, Miss.
Okay, Michelle and
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
okay, what about Angelica? Macasero.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, what about Mariel?
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, Mary Antoinette.
Nothing yet, Miss. Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Melvin. Nick Ortiz.
I think t-test also is
Okay, you try to think no if t-test were data treatment tool. Nicole and Islit.
Nothing yet po, Miss.
Okay, what about Nino? Fergus? Sabiso?
nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, Reco J. Kona.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Ripolio. John Luis.
I
Analysis.
think we will use ANOVA since our study is correlational.
Okay, so what about Renaline Faura?
Nothing yet po, Miss. Descriptive daw.
Okay, Rwani. Margaret.
Awi bro, isunod ko nila. Dili ko.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Ang t-test,
Okay, Ruby. John
statistical
Campos.
analysis tool man siya. Di mo siya data treatment tool.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Saban. Jessa.
So, ano po
Nothing yet,
mong data ba? Pakitaon niyo mong average.
Okay, what
graph, mo
about
gito descriptive.
Tracy? Shane Dulce.
Nothing yet, ma'am, Miss.
Di sa data treatment
Okay,
tool, analysis
Vanessa
tool, ang
Diaz.
statistical na t-test.
Oy, Vanessa Diaz. Ato, guro ni Vanessa. Siruhan ko ni Yancy.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Zinia Palacio.
Nothing yet po, ma'am.
Okay, so si Kuano. Kinsa ni Juanito Bag. Si si Vanessa Diaz pamutubag. Si Arabis. Okay, so you try to check no which is which. No? So when you say data treatment, it could be I heard of some students would tell me that they use descriptive statistics and some of them would use demographics analysis or ANOVA or t-test. Okay, so you try to check whichever is more appropriate, but we need to reserve kanang t-test or kanang ANOVA in our analysis part. Also, when you have your data treatment, it could be that you just try to validate. You're not saying the teacher told us to use descriptive statistics. Okay, one could be, I say could be, okay, descriptive descriptive statistics, and part of descriptive statistics is your mean. Okay, so how is that? Maybe you took the mean of the time that it takes for the user group 1 to finish the task in utilizing the system. Okay, and then you also took the mean of the user group 2, and so on and so forth. Okay. By the way, balik data sa when you make your what do you call this questionnaire. Okay, so let's say for example, kung ano sa satisfaction. So maybe your responses would be exceeding expectations for 3, no? And then you had met expectation for 2, and then 1 is did not meet expectation for 1. Or you'd have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Always, frequently, it could be occasionally,
Possible answer mo makuha ba?
sometimes, okay, never. Those could be your responses. Or you say strongly agree, neutral,
Possible answer palagi na
disagree,
makuha.
strongly disagree.
Wala pa na.
Kung mag 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you try to what? Ensure that dili mo mag-usab-usab within the same question. Do not come up with 20 questions just to determine if the user is satisfied or not when it comes to using your system. Do not make it too many nga maghimo mo rin 20 kabo questions. And I'm also not saying you just come up with 5 or you just come up with 3 or you just come up with 1. No, you try to exhaustively look at your review related lit and try to find what were those defined indicators of user satisfaction. You can get your kind of basis as to indicators of whether or not the users are satisfied when it comes to using a certain system using your review of related literature the journal or the sources that you got when you had your review of related lit. Nasabtan?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now we move on to data analysis. Now, di ba I had katong completion time. It ended that the average of or the mean of the first group is, let's just say, 4.9 minutes, and for the second user group, 5.4 minutes. Is there a difference in the means of the completion time of the two groups? Yes or no? Hello? Nag-difference siya ang 4.9. Pero kung yung din nga number, 4.9 and 5. Pila to? Okay. 4.9 and 5.4. Na-difference? Wala.
Ma'am.
Okay. The next question there is, you already have answered if there's a difference, but the bigger question is the difference statistically significant? Okay, that's another way to answer that. That's another way to make your own analysis. If you got the mean, so what? How are you able to analyze the results using descriptive statistics and determining the means of the two groups when it comes to completion time? Is there statistical significance in the difference of the completion time of the two groups between 4.9 and 5.4? The answer could be yes or the answer could be no. You need to compute for your what? You need to compute for your your way to analyze it is using your t-test. Okay, is ANOVA proper? Yes or no? Okay, if you have two groups, okay, or if you have three groups, sa may mayong gamiton. No, I'll call people alcohol people, gabay lang tag-oras.
Sa tulo na ka
Okay,
kuan
alcohol
pila daw.
people.
Unsa daw galiton sa tulo ka buok.
Okay, Palasyo. You have 2 groups. What will you use?
Two.
Can you repeat, ma'am, since my internet is not so stable, ma'am?
Ina di ko mo repeat. Yancy. Therefore, groups, which do you use? ANOVA or t-test or what test
Ano
for
ba?
your analysis?
May 3 groups.
Correlation. Okay. I will change the question. What is it that you use in your data analysis? Okay. Yancy. Okay, Yancy is not answering. Vanessa.
Wala na out ko.
T-test. Okay, Saban. Not answering. Rovi John.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay, Ruani.
As of now, miss, I'm thinking of a e-test, miss.
Okay, Faura.
Tita sa dakong nating kromis.
Okay, Ripolio.
Yes, ANOVA, ma'am.
Okay. You have Isahag. Isa to yung answer. Si Dulce, one answer. Yancy. Okay. Okay, Reco J.
For now, Miss kay Titas.
Okay, Nino Fergus.
Plan, ma'am, kay one way ANOVA, ma'am.
Okay, Nicole. And Sleep.
E-test, miss.
Melvin ni Curtis.
Titas, miss.
Okay, Mary Antoinette.
E-test, miss.
Mariel.
E-test, miss.
Macasero. Angelica.
E-test, miss.
Okay. Maria Michelle.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Okay. Maria Erica Amahan.
Possible, miss, is correlational, miss.
Okay. Kyle Trisha Banyo.
Z-test, ma'am, for now, ma'am.
Okay. Argento Crystalline.
E-test, miss.
Okay. Kaiza Binegra.
Since I am comparing the significant difference, ma'am, I think it's one-way ANOVA on the...
Okay. Okay. Kim Rituerto. Okay. Cassandra Elisha.
ANOVA, ma'am.
Carol Dale Lapis.
In our case, ma'am, guys, since we're going to kanang test the significance between the two user groups, so we're going to use the test, ma'am.
Okay. Joseph Montalvo.
Titas, Miss.
Okay. Josel.
T-test.
Joanna Lim.
Titas, miss.
Jerome Villanueva.
Titas, miss.
Giselle Federicos.
T-test, miss.
Okay. Jezreel May Taneo.
For now, Miss.
Okay, Jendi.
As of now, Miss, we are planning to use t-test tool, Miss.
Okay, Jared. Sumalino.
For now, Miss, is t-test, Miss.
Okay, Jansin Aguilar. Ha?
T-test, ma'am.
Okay, Jane Dayondon.
T-test, ma'am.
Harvey Barazona.
Z-test, ma'am, to compare the variables.
Okay, Gia Erica Pungautan.
T-test, Miss.
Okay, Jeline Mag-as.
Anova,
Okay, April Rodin.
As of now, ma'am, is independent samples t-test, ma'am.
Okay, Duran Jamaica.
T-test, Miss.
Okay, Donna Marie
Muro na may
Ecos.
layang
T-test, Miss.
0.82.
Donalyn Lapid.
T-test, Miss.
Deodalo Abing.
T-test, ma'am.
Okay, Deverlet Abel.
I'm planning on using Anova, Miss.
Okay, De Jesus Elizabeth.
More than 2 months na lang ano.
T-test, ma'am.
Okay, Darwin Batukan.
Anova, Miss.
Okay, you have Christine Kirante.
As of now, ma'am, we haven't yet discussed, but for me, with regards to completion time, ma'am, na mag-gather data is about 40 tests, ma'am, is applicable.
Okay, Clarence Jimenez.
Since I have 2 users group, Miss, I'll use t-test, Miss.
Okay, Carmel Garcia.
Not yet, Miss.
Ha? Kasi not yet. Nothing yet.
Nothing yet, Miss.
Okay, Kanyete. Rachel.
Possibly T-test, ma'am.
Okay. Ang ganina t-test, karon t-test. Okay, Angelica Restauro.
T-test, Miss.
Eliza Arabis.
80.
As of now, Miss, kay T-test.
Equals.
Okay, so you have your responses, no? So in this particular case, okay, Mayor Sa, please try to take the screenshot. Wala ko naka-take sa screenshot kay ating naghana. So, you see, no? You have transition from the procedure that deals with your data collection, that deals with your data treatment, and then your data analysis. So you try to ensure that you also review your sources as to which tool is most appropriate. So if you're saying t-test, you just don't say, I use t-test. Maybe you use t-test, what is it that you use? Nagamit mo muli ako isang tool to compute for your values? No? Is it one-tail or two-tail t-test? When you come up with your choice of ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, okay, so meron ba ito without replication or with replication, which is which? Okay, it has to be appropriate to the kind of data that you're having and also appropriate to the number of user group. I don't think you can use t-test for if you have more than 2 user groups. So for at least 3 user groups or for at least 3 samples, I don't think t-test is appropriate. So if you want to really validate, if you want to make sure whether or not the tool that you are going to use in your all throughout your procedure from the start of your data collection till such time that you will analyze your data, you ensure that appropriates yan. No, you have all your tools at the tip of your at the tip of your hands, no? Nasa mo fingertips ang access for all these tools. Okay? Okay, so sa pamanjud. Okay, sa pamanjud ato hang kuanani. What else? Did you learn something from today's activity or from today's class?
Yes,
Or
Miss.
it was you were better off not having been able to attend the class at all? So in case you have some questions until tomorrow, I'm still available in the campus. If you have some questions, you can raise these questions through your mayor. But for Thursday and Friday, I'm no longer available. So ensure that by Friday, all your deliverables are submitted at 11:59 or before 11:59. And on Monday, we shall have starting Monday.
And then naman. So, dahil doon sa pikas, so yun. Uwi ka na pala.